Well, hi, it's Jerry with I Love RV Life. We get a lot of questions about the electrical outlets in the RV. We don't have enough, or they just don't have the modern features that we need for today's electronic devices. Today I'm going to show you how to fix that. Well, hi, it's Jerry. We get these questions. Boy, I got this stuff over here with all my kitchen goodies. Don't have enough outlets to plug things in. Isn't there an easy fix? Sure is. And then we have these other questions about, I've got iPads, iPhones, Android tablets, blah, blah, blah. All these things that require a USB connection. The wall warts, those little things that convert AC electric into 5 volts, they go bad. You don't have enough. Oh my gosh, I forgot them again. Or you just had somebody come over for a visit and wants a quick plug-in just to be able to charge up their phone. I've got a fix for that that's super, super easy, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Well, first of all, let me show you. We're here in the kitchen area of our fifth wheel, and this little area that you see right here, I don't know, we call it the breakfast bar for lack of a better idea. So over here we'll have our toaster. Here we'll have maybe the Keurig, a blender, and I'll show you this in an upcoming video. We just bought us one of those ice makers that makes like 20-something pounds of ice a day, and we've already tried it out. Woohoo, that thing is nice. And we ran out of receptacles over here. So let me show you what we did. This is a less than a $6 fix to be able to hook up more devices over here at our little breakfast bar area, and it's just super simple. It's going to take you just a minute. For the breakfast bar area, adding more receptacles or places to plug in is super, super easy. The nice thing is there's no electrical work that has to be done, and that makes it even better. This is a 5-minute fix. One of these things, have you seen them? It's just a multiple outlet that goes in for your breakfast bar. It's plug and play, a top and a bottom. Stick it in, you're done. Now let me give you just a little piece of warning, or just a little piece of added information that you might want to think about before you start going crazy with all your new plug-ins. These things are typically 15 amps, so think about this. Toaster is going to be 1,000 to 1,500 watts. Your Keurig coffee maker is going to be about 12, I have to look it up, but 12 to 1,500 watts. The ice maker that we're going to have is going to be another 1,000 plus watts. You add all that together, we're well above 15 amps. So Jerry, why are you doing this? Why don't you just unplug and plug? I could, but I'm just lazy about stuff like that. Plus, I do this all the time. When we go to this plug and unplug route, I'll put my bagels in, I'll set my coffee in. I'm getting ready to drink my coffee. I'm wondering why my bagels are not working, and dumb Jerry forgot to plug the thing in and unplug the other thing, right? So it's just a matter of convenience, and for less than $6, this is the fix. It's just so simple. These things you can get anywhere, your Lowe's, your Home Depots, those big box stores, Walmart. I bought this thing off Amazon with a couple other goodies. Again, I think it was $5 and change. I did not get the one with the surge protector. You can if you want to. It's a few dollars more, in the $10 to $20 range, to be able to get something like that, depending on the brand, depending on how good it is. But we have a big surge protector, expensive surge protector that runs on the outside of our fifth wheel. Here's a video. If you haven't seen the one on surge protectors, I'll show you that. And it's got a lot of other things in there as well about, 50 amp to 30 amp conversions and all those types of things, 30 amp to 50 amp conversions, and etc., etc. But I do go into some detail about surge protectors. But for this, less than $6, let me show you how simple this thing is to use. So this is our breakfast bar area that I was talking about, that we put our toaster and, all those types of things. We're getting ready to head to Florida, so we hadn't put all that stuff out yet. It's still packed up, but that's that one little receptacle. That one little fella right there is all we've got to be able to support several devices. Easy fix. Let me show you how we're going to do this. This is so simple, I'm almost ashamed to show you. So there's a top and bottom to this thing. You take it. I know. How much easier can that be? 3 across the top, 3 across the bottom. Plug all of our stuff in, turn them on one at a time as we need it. Easy, easy fix, easy fix. Our next upgrade's got a few extra steps to it. It's not going to be difficult, don't worry about it. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. But one of the neat things about it is we're going to upgrade some of the receptacles in here. And I'm going to do one just to show you how to do it. And it's not very, very hard. Again, I was sharing how these things go inside of RVs, depending on how your RV is configured. It might have household boxes in it, may not. A lot of them, they've just done some weird things. They just do weird things when they make RVs. I don't know why. But I'm going to show you how to fix this. And plus, I don't like the receptacles that they use. And I'll show you why once I take this one apart. I've already replaced some, especially those on the outside. But I'm going to update. I'm going to do some update. This is a product called Top Greener. Top Greener, right here you can see it. Got this off Amazon. These are really neat plugs. I like them. I had really high ratings. One of the things I like about them is they came, this was 2 in a box. It came both with the cover. You know, you can never find the cover that fits the exact, you know, these little square doodads that you see. But the video will pick this up just right. There you go, you can see that. So it's got the, you know, a regular receptacle top and bottom. See the 2 little slots here? Those are USB charging ports, 2.1 amp, which will charge any phone, tablet, most of your electronic devices out there that require that 5-volt USB. Just plug in and rock and roll. Now, this is not going to be hooked up to my battery if I'm boondocking. You'd have to have this on an inverter. This is only going to be when we plug in, you know, and we're having what I call shore power or campground power. So that's when these receptacles work. I have another solution that I'll show in another video of what we're doing. We don't boondock, but once in a while we'll pull over on the side of the road for lunch or something like that. We'll need a USB port or something like that. I've got a little trick for that I'll show you as well. But that's later down the line. I'm not doing that today. Now, we're going to replace a receptacle that's right here. I'll do a close-up on it. One of the things that you need to be aware of is I'm plugged in. I'm on campground power. And this thing is hot. In other words, it's got 120 volts on it. And if I was to reach up there and grab it, it could cause me harm. It could even do worse than cause me harm. Danger, danger, you know, just don't go stick your finger in a light socket, right? So I'll show you how to test it. I'm going to kill the breaker and then we'll go from there. Let me show you what I use to make sure we don't have any power on these receptacles. Here's the receptacle we're going to be replacing. I'll show you a few tricks that we're going to have to do to make this new receptacle go in here. You notice it's just 2 standard plug-ins, scratched up and used a bunch. It's hot. It's got 120 volts on it, so we don't want to get electrocuted. So this is a digital voltmeter right here. If you don't know how to use one of these are not very expensive. It's a handy tool to have. Oh, guess what? Look right up here. Yeah, I definitely have a video on how to use these digital voltmeters. So we're just going to go in here and plug in. And if you'll notice, ooh, there's 120 volts. But if you don't want to buy a digital voltmeter and you still want to do this kind of work, guess what? These little devices right here, there are all kinds of little styles. You turn them off, you turn them on, and if you go here, and if it makes that noise, and the little lights are blinking, guess what? You're absolutely right, it's got power. Let's go turn the power off. Yeah, all right, it's quit. Well, when I pull it out, static electricity makes it beep, but it's dead. You heard it cut off when I killed the breaker. And just to verify again, I don't have to do this, but I'll just show you for those of you who like to use digital voltmeters. There you go, 0, nothing's happening. So this circuit is dead, and we're going to pop the cover off. And a couple screws holding this thing in. Again, these are weird receptacles. I do not like them. And yeah, if you look at how these things were put in here, gracious sakes alive. They're a mess. My biggest hope is I've got enough slack to pull this thing out. I don't know. There we go. There it is. Look at here. Oh, got tons of slack. So here it is. These, if you notice, the way they were put in here, they're not in a residential box. You know, I don't even know if you could get away with this in your home. It's probably not code. But these things have these little covers on the back of them, and you just pop them off. There we go. You don't have one of these screwdrivers? It's really not a screwdriver. They call it an 11-in-1 tool. I've got one of these on the website as well. I know, Jerry's advertising, but if I didn't like it, I wouldn't show it. These things are awesome. You know, it's got big screwdriver bits, little screwdriver bits, but what I like about it too, it's got a square bit. Yep, you know, all those screws that fall loose or you have to work on inside of a camper, you have to have that square bit. So anyway, works great for that. Now, I don't know if the video shows this, how these things, can you see that? They're just kind of a punch down. It's not stripped, it's just stuck in there. And I gotta tell you, these things scare the bejesus out of me. I'm just telling you, if these things, and I'll do a close-up once I pop this out, if these things are not in there good and tight, and you plug in something like a hairdryer or something that pulls a lot of wattage, these things can actually melt inside. But let's pop this out and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, if you don't have these tools, these are just little, you know, basic wire snips. You know, just these are the couple things that you should have in your camper, even if nothing else, just to be able to do basic repairs. In other words, what if this thing actually did get too hot and burn up? You smelled burning wire. And you'll see what I'm talking about. See this? See how it's, try to get it here in the light. You see these wires are just stuck in here and these little doodads. I don't like them. They just scare me to death. I just don't think it's a good thing. All right, now, if you notice, I've got this receptacle here, and I have nothing to put it in. Besides, I will have exposed terminals back here on the sides, exposed terminals, and somebody could stick their hand back in here doing something, get electrical shock. So I use what they call a make-ready box. You see these? You can get these anywhere. Big box store time. Time to run into that. Now I'm probably going to have to cut this out just a little bit to make it fit. So I'm going to take a little Dremel and I'm going to do that. I'm going to push my wire in here. I'll be able to pull it back out, I think, once I get this done. So I'm going to have to just whittle this out just ever so little. You can use one of those little vibratory saws, a jigsaw. I'm just going to use a Dremel, and I'm just going to take a marker here. I'm just going to take a marker here and just kind of make it just a tad larger just to make sure it will fit. And as a matter of fact, some of these things are round. And you know, if I'm worried about covering that blue thing up, you see it's going to cover it just fine. You're not going to see it with the plate. So let's do this. All right, just gonna have to whittle it out just a little bit here, no big deal. Now I didn't cut the power to the whole camper for a reason, because I knew I was gonna need electrical tools. And this is just a Dremel. Again, you could use a number of things. I could probably take a file. There's a lot of ways just to make this box just a little bit bigger. And all I did, you know, you saw it. And, you know, I took my box, picked it up here, put a mark on it just to see where I'm gonna have to trim it out. Kind of ragged as it is. It's all going to be hidden. I don't have to worry about it. And this Dremel, these are called saber bits, and it's hard to make them straight, but I think we can do a fairly good job. Here we go. So if you can see these, I'll try to bring them out where you can see them a little bit better. If you notice, I've got 3 different kinds of wire. This one's being a little difficult to see here just because of the color. Alright, so we have a black wire. This is your hot wire. This is actually where the voltage is at. This is your 120 volts. This is your white wire. This is neutral, okay? Some people call that a ground, but it's actually a neutral. It's your return path for the 120 volts. And then this little shiny copper thing, that is actually the ground wire. And my receptacle supports all of that. I'll take this and kind of thread it on like so. Actually pull some of that black in there if I can. And I can. Alright. And then you kind of take this guy here. I'm going to take those ears, flip them over. There we go. See if we can get it in here. Well, as I was trying to get this box in there and I pushed it in, I realized there's a hard back of something back here. And this box is just a teeny bit too long. It's Murphy's Law. That's the way this stuff goes. Fortunately, I keep these make-ready boxes. I'm always doing some kind of a project for myself or someone. And you'll see that this one's not quite as deep. And we'll just use this one. It'll be easy, no big deal. This stuff just happens. That's the way it works when you are remodeling or adding something. Now once you get your box put in, you just take these little screws and screw them up. Those little fingers are going to come right up and bite into the back of that. It's really an amazing little trick. Whoever invented these were just a genius. Okay, I'm putting the wires in. You'll see here I've got a white, a black, again a copper. This is kind of a copper color here. This is kind of shiny. These are also marked white and black, so make sure you follow that. It's that way you don't end up with something called a reverse polarity or a hot neutral is sometimes referred to. It can cause a shock. You don't want to do that. And usually most of these devices are kind of labeled one way or the other. So I've got neutral ground done and my real true ground, neutral power done, and then my copper ground. And then we're going to just ease this guy back in here. Get this finished up. All right, that's all it is to it. Let's see if it works. I'm going to go turn the circuit breaker on. And this is what all the trouble was for, is to get USB. Listen to that. Did you hear it? Da-donk. So now we've got power coming to this. Awesome. Golly. I like that. That is super cool. Well, that was super easy. That was not a hard project. Well, first of all, that took a minute. Okay, I know I cheated a little bit. Just, you know, as that one was plug and play. But replacing the receptacle was a few extra steps. I would say probably total time, maybe 30 minutes. And it wouldn't have been that long, except I had to kind of whittle out that wood area so that, you know, I can make that make-ready box fit. And of course, I grabbed the wrong make-ready box. I needed one a little shorter. That's just the way these projects go. Very simple. You know, do the safety things to make sure the power's turned off. Real basic tools, wire cutter, and, you know, something to kind of whittle that wood out, if you even have to do that. And in some of these instances, like one of these receptacles that I replaced, it was just a direct replacement. Just pull out the old one, put the new one in. It already had the depth that I needed to be able to make everything fit, and already had kind of a box that was put in there. So you're going to find a little bit of everything inside your RV. So nice to be able to have just a plain receptacle, didn't lose that, and now we've got those nice USB connections for phones and tablets and those types of devices, not only for Joan and I, but if we have a visitor who comes in, brings their cord in, wants to plug it in, charge their phone up. And guess what? We forget those little wall warts all the time, or they go bad. You know, they don't last forever. This is a nice little addition, simple, cheap, inexpensive. I'll put links at the description of this, or go out to ilovervlife.com and go to today's blog, and in there you'll have those little description links that I'll put inside the blog where you can get these types of devices. I think you'll find that handy, as well as being very inexpensive. But look, I know some of you watching this video of going, Jerry, you're working with electricity. Scares the daylights out of me. Look, I understand. This isn't for everyone. Not everyone's going to want to be able to do something like this. Stick their hands in wiring, even though it's turned off. Safety first. Safety first. But I know some of you are just terrified with doing that. I understand. It's not for everybody. But my goal here today is for those of you who can do this type of project, to show you how easy it is. And for those of you who may not want to be able to stick their hands on there and do it, I wanted to show you how easy it is for you to call a licensed electrician, pay them for an hour's worth of work, and know that this is a very simple, inexpensive project for being, you know, to be able to upgrade your RV, upgrade your camper, and just kind of put those added devices that are in there. Let me give you a tip. If you are going to call an electrician to be able to do something like this, then order a couple of those and have a couple receptacles changed. You can probably do 2 or 3 all within an hour, and it would cost just the same, especially if you're using your own plugs. Okay, hope that helps. Look, these are fun little projects. Makes our little fifth wheel so much more like home. It is our home on wheels. And we just love showing you how to do these simple little projects. Just another reason why I love RV life. See you soon.